Hey everybody! In this introductory video to the Journal Club series, we'll be discussing how to find research articles and reviewing what the different types of scientific papers are. To begin, let's start by reviewing some of the resources that can help us find a research article of interest. Academic search engines like Google Scholar and Semantic Scholar are great resources to use, as these tools can help us search through various types of repositories and among different publishers, universities, or scholarly websites to find reliable academic sources. However, in comparison to more curated academic databases like ScienceDirect and PubMed, the previous search engines may be less stringent in the types of articles included in their search results. There are many types of databases that you can use for your research, and the database you choose will depend on what type of information you want to find. Oftentimes, these databases require access through your institutional or city library, so you will have to decide which of these resources work best for you depending on your time constraints and needs. You may notice that when you search for your topic of interest through search engines like Google Scholar, that you receive too many results, and some may seem irrelevant or unrelated to your initial query. To tailor your searches further, you can include special characters in your query, such as quotation marks, to find exact matches for your topic of interest, inclusion of the year to look at articles published only during that specific time frame, and Boolean operations. Many of these resources also have an advanced search feature that allow you to do some of the same tasks as these written shortcuts, while including other specifications. From these results, you may have noticed that you can see how many individuals had cited this paper in their own work, which can provide you with context of how this work is being used within the academic literature. Additionally, you can search for related articles and see if there are other resources available that can help you learn more about your topic. One thing to note is that on the side of these search results for Google Scholar, you may see a link with an HTML and PDF in brackets. This means that the article you're interested in is available in full for you to read for free, either as an HTML document or as a PDF. When you click on the link, you will have full access to the article and can start reading through it. However, even if there is no HTML or PDF option available, you can always go through the link provided in the search results and see if you can access the full document through your academic institution or city library. After you find a research article of interest, you can start to glean important pieces of information from these papers, just from the title alone. Oftentimes, the title of a research article can already tell you so much about the paper that you'll be reading, such as the type of paper. The papers shown here state the respective articles are either a systematic review, a narrative review, a randomized controlled trial, or a controlled clinical trial. But what do these terms mean, and how can such information help us when reading our research article? In general, scientific literature can be categorized as either primary or secondary literature. Reports of original research form the primary literature, or the core of scientific publications. These are the articles written to present findings on new scientific discoveries. Primary literature can broadly be divided into two groups: observational and experimental studies. The main difference between observational and experimental studies is that in observational studies, the researchers do not influence the responses of participants and simply observe trends in the data they collect. In an experimental study, the researchers do influence the responses of participants by changing an independent variable in the experimental design to study the effects of such changes. If a paper states in its title that it is a randomized controlled trial or a controlled clinical trial, then the researchers are conducting an experimental study. If a paper states in the title that it is a cohort study, a case-controlled study, or a cross-sectional study, then the researchers are conducting an observational investigation. In comparison to primary literature, a research paper is classified as secondary literature when the writers summarize or review the theories and results from original research. This means that they generally don't present new data from the author's experimental work, but instead provide analysis or interpretation of a body of primary research on a specific topic. There are two types of secondary literature: systematic and non-systematic. Systematic reviews use rigorous methods of article selection and data extraction to shed focused light on a relatively narrow body of research. If a paper states in its title that it's a meta-analysis, then we know that it is a type of systematic review, which specifically provides a quantitative estimate for the effect of a treatment intervention or exposure. In comparison, a non-systematic review does not use as a rigorous or reproducible approach for article selection. but instead offers more flexibility to address far-reaching questions and pursue novel insights. If a paper states in its title that it's a narrative review, then we know that we're looking at a non-systematic review. Understanding what the different types of research articles are can help us in our exploration and further search of research papers, as we can now recognize and understand what the overarching goals and framework of an academic article is from simply the paper's title alone. I hope this video helped you in learning how to search for and find academic research articles, while providing resources and tips on how to start your exploration of such scientific literature.